Alright, we're taking a look at Ixalan once again today, and this time we're taking a look at the Vampire Conquistadors of the Plane. That's right, this is Aristocrats. Yeah, a lot of vampires, a lot of clerics and stuff like that. We're going to smash them all together for a fun time. So the new cards that we're looking at today is the new Vito, Fanatic of Alclazots. That's a hard one to pronounce for me. But anyway, this is a 4 mana 4/4 with flying that has some sacrifice related synergy. Basically, the idea here is that whenever you sack a permanent, you gain 2 life if this is the first time it's happened, and if you do it twice a turn, each opponent's going to lose 2 life. So the thing that we're going to try to pair this guy with is Bitter Blossom here, a card that on your upkeep makes you lose life and create a 1/1 with flying. So the idea here is if we make a Bitter Blossom token every turn, we're down a life. But if we sacrifice one every turn, maybe after it attacks or whatever, then this Vito is going to gain us 2 life. So we'll essentially be going up a life every turn. Now, another way that we could do this is we could make a Bitter Blossom on one turn, make a second Bitter Blossom on another turn, and then on that second turn, sacrifice both of them. That would essentially, we'd go down 2 life, then we'd go up 2 life, and then we'd drain our opponent for 2. So we would basically go, on an average, we'd be gaining a life every turn, and draining our opponent for 1 every turn. So I'm kind of interested to see if this will work here. But we basically have some interesting things going on. And I guess you're probably wondering, how are we going to actually do any of the sacrificing? Well, we have a new card here as well in Bartolome del Presidio. He's a 2 mana 2/1 that has a complete sack outlet. So this is basically, no tapping, no mana to be put in here or anything. This is a straight up sack outlet on a creature here. There's not a lot of those, if any, in Historic as far as I'm aware. And we're going to try to abuse him real quick. The other thing that we get to do is, obviously you're sacrificing a creature for a payoff, which in this case is to make this thing big. So not only is he a combo piece, well, he's also something that can end the game by being a big beater. So that's also pretty cool. We're running some other things like Alice Ilcor Sadistic Pilgrim that will give our opponents life loss whenever we sack our creatures, and then obviously when they come in we get life, so this will offset our Bitter Blossoms. We have things like Bloodghast to come back from the graveyard every time we play a land that can also be sacked to Bartolome. And we have things like Rite of Oblivion and Anguished Unmaking as our removal. Rite of Oblivion requiring the sacrifice of a non-land permanent, so obviously we can trigger our Veto through there. And then of course we have Veto, the original Veto, since if we're going to be gaining life every turn, we might as well just sack our permanent once a turn and then make our opponent, lose the 2 life that we gained. So it's essentially like we sacrificed 2 things, but we didn't have to sacrifice 2 things. We only had to sack 1. I don't know if that makes sense at all. But as we make all these tokens, Wedding Announcement is a pretty good one to have as a backup plan for a creature-based beatdown strategy. So we'll have all our Bitter Blossom tokens, we'll have a Wedding Announcement. That thing's going to flip. Suddenly our army gets big and scary in the air. Now, the other thing that's kind of cool is we're running Aura Skyclave Hierophant. She basically returns cleric cards from the graveyard to the battlefield, so we can get back our Vetoes, we can get back our Alice Ilcors, and unfortunately Bartolome doesn't come back, and neither does New Veto. But it's okay because we have a thing that can bring back vampires. So we're running this little side-by-side combo of vampires returning from the graveyard and clerics returning from the graveyard. It's all kind of smashed together. I don't know if it's going to be amazingly good, but I'm hoping that we can discover something fun today. And of course, since we're playing Vetoes, we're going to play one of Exquisite Blood in case we just get to combo our opponent out for some reason. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a Orzhov deck for me without playing my favorite Planeswalker, Kaya the Inexorable. She's just a great card, can exile something, can, if left unchecked, allow us to just win the game by just repeatedly casting stuff out of exile. It's great. Other than this, we do have one interesting thing in the mana base. We're running a Phyrexian Tower to turn our Bitter Blossom tokens into mana. Being able to sacrifice in a land is also pretty good to trigger our Veto every turn. So all these things are going to be pretty solid. We want to just make sure to the best of our ability that when we have a Veto out, we can make use of his gain life ability, because once we play a Bitter Blossom, the clock's ticking for us. We really got to get moving. And much like that, we'll also get moving here in the deck tech. That's more or less the deck. Orzhov mana base, you know what it is. This is new Veto Aristocrats, the deck. Hope you guys enjoy this one. And before we hop into game one, if you want to support the channel, like the video, comment on it, and subscribe if you're new here. Free and easy to do. Let's hop into round one and see what this deck can do. I'm hoping it can do a lot. All right, round one, let's go. What can we get out to this time? I'm just going to take this one straight up. We're going to see what it can do. You'll notice that Godless Shrine would have been a better play there. We were just going to shock ourselves in the face to feel something here. Here we go. Ouch. Here we go. So Elisilper comes in. We'll probably just drop Veto the turn after, or I guess we might as well do Wedding Announcement, honestly. Opponent's on some mono white shenanigans. That's cool. I gotta decide what I want this to be on. I think I'll probably do double black since obviously Bloodghast is a thing that we can play. Here's Wedding Announcements. We will just get that on the road. I can attack in here and get a 2-for-1 trade if they'd like to do that. They do not. Let's make a 1-1. We gain a life. Sweet. And next turn, what we can do depends on if we draw land or not. I'd like to get Veto out. I think I'd also like to get Aura out. Ooh, another Wedding Announcement or another Veto. I think I'm going to do Veto. Once again, we will see if they want to make a trade. And we'll just run out another Wedding Announcement unless we have something better to do. I'm going to get the Veto out sooner rather than later. Just make sure that he's ready to chill. And if left unchecked, we're going to have a Wedding Announcement that makes our attacks a lot better here pretty soon. Borrowed Time, what do they take? Veto? Wedding Announcement? That's fine. Veto's not our main win con here. Ooh, we have Bartolome. We'll play another Wedding Announcement here. I'm just waiting for this next land. It's going to be the best to play Bartolome right before we need to sack everything, so I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Will they make this trade? Ooh, okay. And will they use Selfless Savior? No. That is surprising. Not going to lie. Alright, well, we got a bunch of creatures here. What does our opponent do to get out of this? They might have a board wipe here. That's the only thing that I'm afraid of. Interesting. We're going to investigate here, but we have 8 power on board, so this is fine. Aura doesn't really do anything. I'm thinking that Veto is probably kind of decent. We can sack some of our creatures each turn to try to finish off our opponent. I'll just swing in with the team. We get to make another 2-2, and basically our opponent is going to be dead next turn. They need to wipe the board. Okay, looks like we got him. Alcedo of Life's Bounty, fine. They will be dead in the air. I'd like to get Bartolome out to do our thing, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. The game's already over. Alright, kind of a weird first one, but let's hop into round 2 and try to see what we can do. Here we go. Alright, round 2, let's go. Bitter Blossom plus a Bartolome could be good. I think I like that idea, especially on the play. I did the Ebon Legion, okay. Well, we can potentially just block that for all eternity, so that's good. We want to play this one on, let's do black. Here's Bitter Blossom. We'll take as much as 1 damage this turn. Alright, here comes the fairy. Let's go tap to Godless Shrine, play a Bartolome. Definitely not blocking here. They can just throw their Ibn Legion. That's cool. I'm happy that they're using their mana for this rather than developing their board. If we end up drawing a removal spell, we can deal with that just fine. Shattered Sanctum or Silent Clearing. We'll do Shattered Sanctum, play Veto. Alright. Now if we can find Big Veto, we can put the hurt on them real quick right now. That thing can gain Death Touch, okay. Ultimate attack with Knight. I guess I will block and then sacrifice for now. Alright, we got a 3-2 that can trade with, or that can avoid trading with Battlefly Swarm. Rite of Oblivion. I'm not sure if I want it to do that, or if I'd rather just give all my stuff lifelink. Let's swing in with the squad, see what happens. Stop after blockers, see what goes down. +1/+0 and indestructible. Oh, that's fine. So they block. If they block Bartolome, it's fine. They can gain Death Touch. That's a little bit annoying. Fine. Do they kill Veto or Bartolome? It's going to be Veto. Okay. Well, we'll give everything lifelink and try to hurt them for a bunch. Basically take 9 from this attack. I think that was ultimately pretty solid. We'll pass. We have a Rite of Oblivion to take care of any large creature, and I'm feeling pretty solid. Grey Merchant of Asphodel for 4. Alright, we're going to trade the life around here. And I think I'll just pass, no blocks. We go to 10. Move to our turn. We go to 9 now. Here's Kaya the Inexorable to take out the Knight of the Ebon Legion, I think. Going to 8. Starting to get a little bit low on life total here. Or maybe, you know what, we'll just go ahead and go Swarm or Bartolome. Silent Clearing his land for the turn. And yeah, we can get close to a Kaya ultimate at some point. It's too bad we don't have our sacrifice payoffs, though. Knight of the Ebon Legion, fine. Alright, we'll wait till after blockers to use Bartolome. They go towards us. Alright, we're happy to block with the unhasty creature here. And we'll activate Bartolome to sack this thing. Alright, so Kaya's going to get to go to 7 here. And so will my life total, actually. Wedding announcement, cool. And then I'm probably just +1ing on... I'll put it on this creature. And what do we want to do here? Rite of Oblivion, we can sack a creature to kill anything. We got to do it at sorcery speed, though. It also costs us a life, which I'm not super keen on doing. I think I'll just pass. No pass. No attacks, rather. Alright, so if we can get Kaya to do her thing and -7, then we get Veto out of the graveyard pretty soon. They don't even decide to attack at all. That's fine for me. They want to see me bleed out to my own card here. And here's Veto. Sweet. So we're going to -7 Kaya first. And we're going to Veto here. We will say go. So what's going to happen next turn is we're going to get back our Veto, and then we're going to do all of our fun sacrifice stuff to drain the opponent out every turn. So that attack is fine. What I'll do is go like that, wait till after blockers, and then sack with him. And we will just gain 2 for this turn. We're going to start saving up for the following turns. There we go. Cool, cool. We get a fairy. We get to get from our graveyard our Veto. And they see the combo on the battlefield. Sweet. Okay, well, we were able to make it work. It was definitely a little rickety, but hey, this is a brew, and that's what you signed up for today. All right, good round 2. Let's hop into round 3. All right, round 3, let's go. What do I think about this? It's an interesting one for sure. I mean, if we can land Exquisite Blood, these Bitter Blossom tokens are going to pay for themselves. For science, let's give it a try. We'll start with a Plains, and then decide on this pathway on black, which I think I probably want to do anyway. So here is Bitter Blossom number 1, and the question is, do we go for Bitter Blossom number 2 as well? I think it depends on if they play any threat that we're scared of. Oh, you know what? We got a Phyrexian Tower. That's great. So does this mean that next turn we have enough for Exquisite Blood? So I'm going to play another Bitter Blossom. And we will save our hand until next turn. Sweet. Alright, as long as they don't hit me with Thoughtseize here, I am feeling pretty solid about how this is going. Alright, they move to our turn. We got double Bitter Blossom. I'm going to play Phyrexian Tower as our land for turn, and auto pay, sacking one of the new berries, and here's Exquisite Blood. That is allowed to hit the battlefield. Let's get in for 1 damage. Alright, so now all of our creatures effectively have lifelink. That's awesome. The cool thing about Exquisite Blood is that it does actually stack with lifelink, so if you can actually get to 5 mana to play this card, it's actually worth its salt. Opponent has 4 lands, and they're really not doing anything with them. Bartolome's a good one. We don't really have a payoff, though. It's fine, though, because we can just cast both Wedding Announcement and Bartolome this turn, so we'll go like so. Does this work? I need to have... Okay, so I'm going to make 2 black mana here. We'll go like this, and then we'll go like that. Cool. Bartolome comes in, and we'll hit them for 2. If they try to remove something, we will go Bartolome. Alright, we get to draw a card here. Another land is cool. Ritual of Soot, that makes sense. There's really no reason for me to sack anything, is there? Okay. Well, Bitter Blossom will continue to churn out tokens for us. Bloodgust is also pretty good. Bloodgust will be nice with Rite of Oblivion, and then we'll be able to use this Shattered Sanctum to bring back Bloodgust. Down the rock like that, and then we will probably just sit tight here. Wedding Invitation flips next turn. That'll turn this 5 damage attack into a 9 damage attack. That will heal us for 9, so that'll be nice. So this is Rakdos control, but like with board wipes, so let's see how this goes. I wonder what their threats are. My guess is it's maybe like a late game Croxa, could be running Fable of the Mirror Breaker, a lot of different things. Well, if they've decided to give up, we will take this one as a win. Kind of cool to see that Exquisite Blood actually kind of functioned here against the control deck. Pretty silly that as long as I was able to power it out, I really didn't have any problems with my life. Kind of cool angle to the deck. I really do like playing with this card, and it's nice that you have the veto combo as a potential thing as well that you can do. I guess I'm going to let my opponent bleed their time out here, and I will see you in the next round. Enjoy the edit. Alright, here we go. We have Exquisite Blood again. It was definitely fun playing that last game. We can go Bartolome and Veto. The only problem is we don't have a token producer. I mean, there's 8 in the deck. We're pretty likely to get one at some point. And if we do, we have the mana to cast them, so it seems okay. They take Exquisite Blood, the combo is off the table. We'll take my veto, sure. We can get that back with Kaya. Let's see if they have removal for my 2-drop, though. Alright. Let's play a land that they know about. They didn't know about that pathway. I'll drop this out. We'll pay a life for Bartolome. Alright, here we go. Pajuka Bog. Okay, we're losing our graveyard, so our other veto will not come out. And we lose Liliana's Triumph. Alright. Well, not really anything to do with the 3rd land drop here. Turn 4, we have veto again. Okay, so this is discard, I believe. Yeah, this is just a discard deck. Here's veto. We're happy to keep Bloodghast in hand in case we discard it. Alright, I see that they play Feed the Swarm, another life loss situation, so this Exquisite Blood here is actually going to be a pretty good play for me. We'll even out my mana like this, and then we'll go for Exquisite Blood. Then I think we'll go Bartolome, Bloodghast, and then try to drop a Kaya later. Okay, so they will look at my hand, probably take Kaya, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Then we get to Anguish them making this as well. Oh, this actually lines up perfectly. So here's Bloodghast. Then we... Oh, this is not the one where I have to sacrifice something. Okay, so then I'll just Anguish them making that thing. Sweet. And we'll drop in a Blood Cryptat. So they know my whole hand. They can make me discard this if they want to. Alright, so they'll kill my Bloodghast, sure. That will eventually come back. Oh, Bitter Blossom is great here. We'll just drop the 1-2 punch here. And hopefully these creatures in the air will be pretty solid. Can't block the Null Priest. Here comes Turgid's Lantern. Oh, this is going to be interesting pressure. I'm going to decline to start. We're going to play a little bit with the life total here. We go to 8, they go to 16, we go to 7. We get a Silent Clearing that will just immediately use the draw card. We'll take action, bring that guy back. And let's draw the card first. Finding another Bitter Blossom here. I'm down. We have Exquisite Blood. Alright, we'll go up to 9. Then we'll go down to 7 again next turn, most likely, unless we block with Bloodghast and our token. Non-land permanent. Let's drop our token off. So now we've dealt with Turgid's Lantern effectively. That doesn't really matter too much to us. We'll take 2, then take 2 again. Do they have another creature? So if we can't connect with Exquisite Blood, it is going to be a little awkward. Okay, we're going to go to what? We're going to go to 5. We're going to go back to 7, actually. Okay, cool, that worked out. Now if we can find a way to sacrifice permanents, we're going to be looking pretty good here. We hit our opponent for 6 next turn. Let's sacrifice one of our Bitter Blossoms. We'll gain 2 life. And that's pretty solid. Thank you, Turgid's Lantern. Sacks a creature, we'll get rid of one of these. Sack an enchantment, we'll get rid of Bitter Blossom, and then Planeswalker. So we gotta hope that we don't get another one of these soon. Okay, and we get a 4/4. We are going to hit them for just about lethal here. Opponent goes to 1. And then we gain 9 life. And actually, I could have had lethal there with playing my Plains and getting my Bloodghast back. Alright, cool. That was probably the most exciting game of this series so far. I'm glad you guys got to see the deck doing what I think that the ceiling of it is. Bitter Blossom's taking us low. Our opponents... This actually lined up very well against Turgid's Lantern and our opponent's sacrifice-based synergies. Vito loves sacrifice, and we have so many creatures and enchantments that are poking us in the back that this really worked out well. And then we finally got to see our first Vampire Demon get created. It might end up being the only one of the series, but at least we got to do it once. All right, round 4 is in the bag. We have round 5 coming up. Let's do one more coming right here. All right, here we go, round 5. We're recording round 5 because of a very slow win that we got against a mono blue flash deck, where we were able to veto combo our opponent. It was a pretty cool one, but unfortunately the game was just so long that I don't think it's going to make it to the video. Here, we're looking at a pretty high CMC curve here, though we do have Phyrexian Tower to potentially ramp into like a Queensway Paladin. Unfortunately, that will not get anything back for us, so it would be a ramp into Kaya. And maybe that ramp into Kaya could allow us to like put a counter on our Alice Ilcor potentially, but we need to draw another creature before then to use with our Rite of Oblivion or with our Phyrexian Tower. I'm going to just take it. It may or may not be smart to do that, but we'll see. Oh, they've got a Leyline of Sanctity. Okay. Well, we'll see if that ends up mattering. Put a black land in. Say go. Alright, so this is life gain. They just happen to run Leyline of Sanctity as well. Alice Ilcor. Luckily, the drain effect on Alice Ilcor is not targeted like something like I think a Blood Artist is, possibly. I'm not really sure. Hopefully, we will be able to get around the Leyline of Sanctity, though. We have a lot of combat-focused wins, so should be okay. Hollowed Fountain, or Hollowed Priest. Alright. We have our third land. What do we want to do with it? Rite of Oblivion can kill the Leyline of Sanctity. I'll play Bloodghast now then. No attacks. So we'd be able to Rite of Oblivion. Oh, what am I saying? I probably just want a Phyrexian Tower, sack the Bloodghast, play Kaya, and plus on my Alice Ilcor. We're going to put a lifelinker in, sure. Okay, so yeah, we get Bloodghast back the following turn. We can use it to Rite of Oblivion something. Sweet. Auto pay, sacking Bloodghast. When it takes the damage, we're going to get to put a 1-1 on, or sorry, not a 1-1, but a counter onto Alice Ilcor. Kaya's going to go down to 4. But then hopefully we'll be able to get back with a Queensway Paladin or Rite of Oblivion. Yeah, it'll probably be Alice Ilcor with Rite of Oblivion sacking Bloodghast that comes back. Ooh, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. What kind of fun are we doing here? Oh, they're going to take my Bloodghast. That's very smart. Okay, well, things got a little bit more iffy here. Do they attack? They do. And so they might as well attack with Soul Warden as well. Oh, interesting. So we're going to be able to get a pretty good exchange here. We have a 1-1 to fly now. And we'll go to our turn. So here's Alice Ilcor again. Like, that's happening no matter what. Unless... Yeah, we don't have a vampire in the graveyard yet. So yeah, I'll just play Alice Ilcor. Okay. And then put a Silent Clearing in. We're going to plus onto Alice Ilcor. And Rite of Oblivion would be kind of annoying here for that Agatha's situation. Maybe I just take Agatha's Soul Cauldron here. I don't want this Healer's Hawk to get big. Target this. Well, if I kill the Healer's Hawk... Yeah, I think I'd actually rather kill the Healer's Hawk, because Agatha's doesn't have any good creatures to take out of the graveyard yet for, like, the purposes of... For the purposes of actually building, like, a good creature. Okay. Take a damage here, sacking this. Opponent goes to 26. They are below their threshold if it's going to matter to them, and we will pass. Alright, so they still got to fight off a Kaya. We've dealt with a lot of their creatures, and we have a backup Rite of Oblivion. Book of Exalted Deeds, we can take care of that whenever we want to. And we're going to get to uptick Kaya here. That's good. Oh, Vita. Sweet. Down for that. So now we do have a Vampire for Queen's Bay Paladin. However, we're just going to get Vita back to our hand, so... for this reason, I'm happy to just go in with LSO 4 for 2. And now we're starting to cook. I'm going to drop out a Silent Clearing here. We might want to draw a card at the end of our opponent's turn. 6 mana. That is mostly enough to cast a lot of things in our deck. We'll have a pretty high chance of being able to double spell with Rite of Oblivion. Though I don't really have a lot of good things to sacrifice other than our things that could come back with Kaya. So I guess basically it just means that Rite of Oblivion is a free cast. Okay, Silent Clearing. Get a card into the hand before our draw step here. It's an Aura. Okay. So, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I'll probably play the Aura +1 Kaya, so I won't need to shock this in. Well, if I want to start to abuse these Kaya triggers, then I think I will do this. So I will play Aura. Oh, I did my math wrong. I only have 7 mana available. Oh, it's because I sacked the Silent Clearing. Whoops, I did my math wrong earlier. Okay, well, then we'll just play Aura here. Rite of Oblivion doesn't need to come down now because they don't have a way of getting a Mutavault into play unless they have it in hand. It's the one thing that could be bad here. We'll gain some life. And look it in. Alright, so the opponent has to deal damage to Kaya, otherwise we just get to go ham. Cool. Looks like we're good. This is a surprise. I guess I'll take a card here. Alright, hey, and our other Vito's here. The whole gang is around. So we'll move to our turn. We're going to -7 Kaya. We'll get Kaya back on our next upkeep. And we'll drop this land here, play Vito, and just start to swing in with the squad.
I don't think you can beat all of
Okay, sure, all of this will happen. And we'll go in. Yeah, so Vito, unfortunately, is a targeted ability, so Leyline of Sanctity is going to be a problem. We'll just have to attack like normal. End turn. We can Rite of Oblivion like at any time with Leyline of Sanctity. Or to kill Leyline of Sanctity, that is. Voice of the Blessed. I think that's probably a better thing to murder. This thing is not an angel. So they still don't have an angel to put an Enlightened counter on. I'm still kind of waiting for them to have the Mutavault out of the side, out of their hand, sorry. They're going to exile my Rite of Oblivion. Kind of wish I'd used that earlier. It's okay. So I go. I think with this Kaya emblem, we just value out our opponent. Alright. My turn. Here comes Kaya. English making is great, so I'll go ahead and just put a counter on the veto. For English making, we'll just take Leyline of Sanctity, start to chunk down our opponents. Even if they trade with Voice of the Blessed, it doesn't really matter to me. Because I get to start dealing a lot more damage to them than they can do to me. Okay. And we are able to sacrifice a creature now or on our next turn. I think I will wait to do it on my opponent's turn as kind of a combat trick. Basically, we'll be able to get a blocker out to save Kaya if they go all in for her. Gate to the Citadel, not the scary land that we were looking for. And interesting, Angel of Destiny, that's kind of a problem for me. It's whenever it deals damage to a player. Okay, gotcha. I think I can kill my opponent this turn. We're going to exile something from their graveyard, sure. Do I own anything interesting in exile? I do not. Oh yeah, I can just exile the Angel of Destiny and then they lose. Okay, cool. They get to go all in here. I'm going to activate Phyrexian Tower, sacking my LSL core. Put that back in my hand. Boom, boom. Alright, and we will block the Voice of the Blessed. Kaya will be able to exile Angel of Destiny, and that'll be the game. Sweet. LSL core comes back. They go to 7, sure. Rite of Oblivion, we are chilling. Exile Angel. Exile Book of Deeds, sacking something that has a counter on it. Then, I mean, we'll just attack him for lethal. Alright, cool. Kind of a slow way to end this series, but overall I think we had a pretty good time. Definitely one of the more jankier decks out there, but it's always really cool to play with Aristocrats. It's just such a fringe deck. I think we haven't really seen it be super OP in Historic in quite a while, but it's nice to see that there are some interesting cards to play around with in this archetype. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with that being said, that kind of brings me to the end of what I wanted to cover here, so not much more to say. Give the deck a try if you're into Aristocrats. And if not, we got content coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as we explore the new set. So stick around, subscribe if you're new here, like and comment on the video to help with the algorithm, and I will see you in the next one.